Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who teach on real well. And Shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading this truth in sincerity. Shalom. In this video, I want to delve into a topic on the markers of the Beastos, or, also known as the RFID chip or the NFC chip that in the future is going to be imposed upon the people with force. And as we are speaking, this current society is being prepared and being directed towards basically that event where the whole world is going to be tried. Salakia. So the article that I have in front of me is a Dutch website which I translated. It is on motor.nl, which is like a motorcycle website that basically speaks on advancements within the motorcycle world. And having a driving license, is part of, the motorcycle world. Otherwise, you're not eligible to basically ride around on a motorcycle within the confines of the law. So it says Europe introduces digital driving license. So the hard copy driving license that we have right now, the card, or I don't know what they have in other countries, but it's going digital. The article is going into how people are also able to have the physical one, the hard copy, but the emphasis is going to be on the digital one. Why? Because slowly but surely the society is moving towards everything being digitalized. So it says smartphone becomes an important ID on the road, and we know that the smartphone is just the beginning. Eventually, the the technological advancements are going to be that it is going to be steered towards everything being put upon the microchip. But for now, they're taking things slowly but surely, and actually using gradualism, to introduce certain things to the people in a way that is not gonna shock and awe, basically. That changes happen in such a gradual way that the people are willing to accept it. Because if certain things happen at once, out of nowhere, the people are gonna resist it, and that's something that they do not want. But if it is gradually being introduced, slowly but surely, over time, people are going to accept it. That's their intention. That's their intention. It says the European Union is taking a step towards digitalizing its transport system. On October 15, 2025, the European Parliament's Transport Committee approved a reform that introduces the digital driving license as a document for all EU drivers. This decision follows a provisional agreement between Parliament and the Council in March 2025. And here it speaks about the EU. The EU. And we know that the EU and the NATO, is what makes up, the beast. That is, what makes up that beast that is pushing the beast system. And here we see that, that is actually coming from, the EU that eventually is proposing it. And you need to understand that if the EU proposes it and the countries are against it, they're going to be laid up with fines or repercussions. There was something going on in the time of the C-19 where people are only allowed to withdraw a certain amount of money, and that was actually laid up by the EU. And if the people, if the country would not basically also put it into force, so when Holland would not put it into force, they're going to be laid up with sanctions. They're going to receive less benefits, so they're basically being punished for disobeying. So we see how the EU, and the NATO together, which form that beast, which is pushing the beast system, which is pushing that image of the beast, we see that, they're the ones, pushing those those things slowly but surely upon the people, man. Which is actually as it is written in the scriptures, man. It is written in the scriptures like that it would happen in that way. You see? That's why it says in Revelation 13, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So there is a recompense for not obeying or not going along, with the system that is being pushed. You can look at it from a major perspective, as in a country not obeying leader but sanctions, but this is actually more directed towards the individuals that are not in line, are not down with what the system is pushing. They're gonna be up for grabs in the future, and gonna be put down, man. You see, because those that do not want to go along with the system, they're actually a threat. And the threat are going to be annihilated, man. That's why we, Yahweh Tazah, the servants, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we have a target upon our back because we're actually prophesying against it, and we're actually telling what is going on and what their intentions are. And Yahweh Tazah, in those times, we still do not agree, or we do not accept what is being forced upon the people. So we're a threat because we're warning the people not to, go along. You see? Reading on in the article, it says the digital driver license will be accessible via a smartphone through the European Digital Identity Wallet. A wallet system. So right now we would have a physical wallet, in the back pocket. They want to transition that to a digital wallet on the phone, which eventually the digital wallet is going to transition to, a chip being inserted into the skin. The Karakma, It says this system is expected to be available in all 27 member states by the end of 2030. While citizens can still request a physical version, the focus is on the digital version. The Dutch RDW, which is the Dutch Vehicle Authority, is participating in this development to facilitate faster and more efficient enforcement by police services. It says the European Commission presented the proposal in March 2023 with the aim of having the legislation come into force in 2025 to 26. Member states such as the Netherlands must incorporate the guidelines into their national legislation. According to Dutch plans, the EU DI wallet will be offered free of charge to citizens by the end of 2026. Due to safety measures, a mandatory 2-year probationary period for new drivers will be introduced, but unfortunately, there will be no general zero tolerance for alcohol, a missed opportunity according to some experts. A key reform concerned cross-border sanctions. Driving restrictions imposed in one EU country will be recognized in another member state. This is part of the broader EU road safety policy to tackle dangerous driving across borders. So, slowly but surely, this also is making a way to that NWO, that New World Order, where there is going to be basically one government, which, that quote unquote will be the EU and the NATO, proposing everything upon the people, So, one law broken, you have, sanctions on your name. You go into another country, they say, hey, you also have sanctions over here, blah, 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 blah. You will be met with harder consequences then as well, because they already see you are a multiple offender, basically. It says the EU is organizing pilot programs to test the EU DI wallet, co-funded by European subsidies. Privacy concerns are raised, particularly regarding data collection and security risks, but the benefits of digital mobility are also being presented as an improvement in road safety. So, yet again, they try to put some benefits out there, but, these people, they're not aware of what actually is going on in the long term. What this is actually leading towards, and the people say, yeah, it's convenient, it's beneficial, have it in your phone. Yeah, eventually you're also going to say, yeah, it's beneficial to have it in the hand. Then I can never lose it. Yep. Until someone chops off your hand. It says, with this reform, Europe is taking a step towards its digital transformation ambition, with the expectation that the digital driving license will contribute to streamline mobility and improve safety within the EU. You see, so like I said, this is actually being enforced, by the EU, and all these member states, the 27 countries that are being mentioned, have to have this into full effect, or have it at least available, by the end of 2030, which we know that they have their agenda 2030, But the point is, this is slowly but surely, leading towards, that society in which the RFID chip is going to be enforced. And without that, eventually you won't be able to participate in society, man. That's why it reads in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And the cause it, is going into that this world is being prepared for everyone to eventually receive it. It is being made ready, This society is being groomed, is being prepared, is basically being set up to receive it, and the people just, agreeing with it, man. But it talks about everyone upon this earth, man. Whether you're poor or rich, whether you're in prison or whether you're a so-called free man, everybody and his mama is going to receive this mark, which is that chip, that RFID chip, man. Because through that, you're going to be made, of course, we are already slaves in a sense towards the system, but then you're going to be a complete slave, because we don't know the full broad spectrum to the capabilities that they have with this chip yet. We can speculate, but there are so many things going on with this technology. Why are they pushing the 5G, the 6G, etc., the development, that they are able to have complete access and basically be like the Most High, man. Be able to, be aware of what's going on at all times, man, with all the people upon the earth. Biometric data sensor within that chip, your wallet, your driving license, your medical information, everything is going to be put on that, man. And you won't be able to participate in this society if you don't take it. That's what it's also going to say, man. And when you look at China and North Korea, those are like examples that the heathen show us of the society that they want to move towards. That social credit system, like if you are a good citizen, you get better credits, you're able to do everything that you want. But if you're not, if you break a law, if you, basically on the pedestrian street, you walk in the red light, you're being recognized, points are taken off, you put something online that goes against the government, boom, things that basically you're being punished for free speech and, for, certain things that are not even that heavy though. But that is the society that we're heading towards, man. But they ain't gonna prevail in accomplishing that, because before that is gonna happen, like I said in the video of yesterday, before he's about to fill his belly, the Most High should basically, rain brimstone upon him, man. Yahushua is gonna be sent forth back. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you won't be able to participate in this society without you having this technology within your hand, because the mark of the beast, the mark goes into karakma, which is an incision in the skin, goes into grapho, the information all being lined up, being written in there, all your personal information, your medical information, your bank information, everything, man. Only if you have this technology will be able to participate in the up and coming society, man. Which is going to only be for a short while, if at all, they're even to have it for a time. But they're heading, or they're preparing the society, to head towards that. People are going to be left with a choice. You either take it or you don't. You don't want to take it, you're going to be put to death, or you're going to have to fend for yourself. In the time to come, which Esau is making that very difficult as well. A lot of wildlife that is lawful to eat is being hit and stricken. But that's where the faith towards Yahweh Shem Yahushai, comes into place, man. That he is going to be the one to provide for us, man. That he is our shield and buckler. Verse 18, here's wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, For this the number of a man, and his number is 600 and and when we look at the barcodes upon products, we're able to see that the 666 is in a position where there is no number. That's 666, man. That is what Esau is using throughout all his products, man. And also, the Chai stigma, eventually when you go into the words, it goes down, to basically a mark of servitude. So if you accept this technology within your body, you're showing your allegiance, towards Esau Edom. Basically you're showing your allegiance to Satan. Because now you have made a contract with him instead of with the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So we at all times, we warn our people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, not to take this chip, not to take this technology, because you're going to be destroyed in a terrible fashion. You see? So, like I started off this video with, this society is being prepared in a certain way to fully accept this technology. There are going to be those that are going to be, accepting it. There are going to be those opposing it, But in the end, all be all, this technology is going to be enforced upon the people. A time, in which the whole world is going to be tried concerning this specific technology is going to happen in the future. You see, so with that, I do hope and pray that this video was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Salakia, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and rule well. And Shalom to the sincere Akyam, spreading the truth and sincerity. Shalom.